Welcome to UMath. Today, this is what things would look like if I were a Simpsons character. Pretty impressive. You can see Nelson Muntz there in the bottom corner doing what he does best, and that's pick on the nerdy kids in the school. That's Martin Prince there. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about solving equations after combining like terms, which we did in the last lesson. We talked about combining terms that were the same, had the same family names. So in this particular question here, let's start combining. We have two that belong to the x family, so we're going to combine them. If we've got 4 x's and we take away 2 x's, we're left with 2 x's, 2x. Write the rest down. Now we're going to combine these two because they are both part of a no-name family, and we've done this year. We would do the opposite, adding 3, subtracting 3. This is how we combine them. These cancel. You're left with 2x equals 9 minus 3 is 6. And then we just finish solving it by doing the opposite. The variable is being times by 2, so doing the opposite would be dividing by 2. These would cancel. The x is now alone, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And remember what the check was for this. If it asks you to check in a question, I'd like you to do this. You take your answer, you bring it back up to the top. So you'd say, I'm going to put a 3 wherever I see an x. So 4 times 3 is 12, minus 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 equals 9, and then I just check to see if this actually works. 12 minus 6 is 6, plus 3 is 9, and that checks out. Things really don't change. Even if you go to fractions, it's still the same as far as combining terms. We have a y family and a y family here, so it says to add them together. And whenever we add fractions, remember that we have to have common denominators. So in this case, it's 4. This one's already at 4. This one you had to double it, times it by 2, so we'll do the same to the top. Now we can add these, combine them. 1/4 y plus 2/4 y is 3/4 y. At this point, you shouldn't be confused. It's still the same rule as we've done with all the other variable equations. To get the variable alone, we do the opposite. So what's being done to it? It's being multiplied by 3/4. The opposite of that would be dividing by 3/4. That allows us to cancel those two out. But you have to do it on both sides to keep it balanced. So now we're left with, basically we're dividing fractions, so just put that over 1. And when we divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal of the second one, that's flipping it. And we'll do some cancellation, divide by 3, divide by 3. So it's 3 times 4 is 12, and 1 times 1 is 1, so it's 12 over 1. And 12 over 1, or 12 divided by 1, is just simply 12. Then we take that 12, bring it back to the original equation, put a 12 wherever you see a y is. So 1/4 times 12, or 1/4 of 12, is 3. You just divide by 4. And half of 12, or half times 12, is 6. And that indeed checks out. Last example, we're moving on to decimals. Once again, it's really no different whether you're using whole numbers, fractions, or decimals. You still follow the same instructions, which is combine the like terms. In this case, you have two n's. n families, so you add these two together. 0.4 plus 1.1 is 1.5n. Take a look at the variable, what's being done to it. We are going to do the opposite, so it's being multiplied by 1.5. We will divide by 1.5. Those cancel. So n equals, we're going to go 12 divided by 1.5. We'll put a decimal down there. First thing we do is move the decimal in the divisor to there, which means we have to move this one space as well. So it goes there, and of course we put a 0 in here. Raise the decimal, and we're done with the decimal now. Now we just divide. 15 does not go into 12 nice and evenly, but 15 does go evenly into 120, exactly 8 times, and we're done. So n equals 8. And once again, for a check, you take it back up to the top and say 0.4 times 8, well that's 3.2, and then 1.1 times 8, that would be 8.8, and you add those two together and they do add up to 12, so that'd be the check for that one. So looking at your questions, let's make this a little easier to read. There we go. You can do all of these 9. For the word problems, you may cross off numbers 2 and 4. Flipping over, you may cross off the last 6 questions, which are 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30.
That was easy.